The Galactic Council's shame. Why they need human mechanics now. The Vexarian cruiser Infinite Theorem drifted lifelessly in the Andromeda sector, its quantum engines failing for the third time that cycle. Inside the pristine command deck, High Magistrate Zorthel's chromatic skin flickered through shades of embarrassed violet, a color no Vexarian wished to display publicly. "This is unacceptable," Zorthel hissed through his translator implant. "We are the second oldest spacefaring civilization in the Council. Our technology is refined, perfected. How can our flagship fail in open space?" His chief engineer, a methodical crystalline named HFY vibrated at a frequency indicating extreme distress. "Magistrate, the diagnostics reveal nothing. The quantum matrices are aligned within 0.001% tolerance. The antimatter containment fields are optimal. By every measure, this engine should function flawlessly." "Should, but doesn't," Zorthel muttered bitterly. He knew what had to be done, though the thought made his skin pulse an even deeper violet. "Contact them, sir. Contact the humans." Elsa Martinez floated in zero gravity, her mechanical suit covered in grease stains that no amount of regulation could remove. She held a plasma wrench in one hand and an archaic screwdriver, actual metal, actual threads in the other. Around her, the engine room of the human freighter Lucky Strike hummed with controlled chaos. "Alex, hand me the duct tape," she called out. Alex Chen, her partner and the ship's co-mechanic, grabbed the silvery roll from their toolkit. "You know the Council engineers have a collective aneurysm every time they see us use this stuff." "That's because they've never actually fixed anything in their lives," Elsa replied, wrapping the tape around a coolant coupling that, by all galactic standards, should have required a complete module replacement and 3 weeks of calibration. "They design things. We make things work. There's a difference." The tape held. The coupling sealed. The reactor temperature dropped 2 degrees. "Boom!" Elsa grinned. Physics. Their celebration was interrupted by an incoming transmission. Alex pulled himself to the comm station, his eyebrows rising as he read the message. Elsa, you're not going to believe this. The Galactic Council is requesting human mechanics for an emergency repair." "Which ship?" "The Infinite Theorem. That's Zorthel's flagship." Elsa whistled low. "The guy who called us primitive tinkerers with delusions of competence at the last council meeting?" "That's Zorthel." "The very same." She smiled slowly. "Well then, I guess we shouldn't keep his high and mighty waiting." When Elsa and Alex docked with the Infinite Theorem, they were met with barely concealed hostility. Vexarian crew members kept their distance, their skin colors shifting through uncomfortable oranges and greens. No one made eye contact. Zorthel himself greeted them in the engine bay, his translator rendering his reluctance in perfectly modulated English. "Mechanics Martinez and Chen, thank you for responding to our request." "Cry for help, you mean?" Elsa said cheerfully, already pulling out her scanner, a bulky, human-made device held together with what appeared to be electrical tape and optimism. Zorthel's skin flashed red. "Our engines have malfunctioned. Our own engineers cannot locate the problem. The diagnostic systems report perfect functionality, yet we cannot achieve faster-than-light travel." Alex was already crawling into the quantum engine housing, completely ignoring the authorized personnel-only warnings written in 17 languages. "Hey, Elsa, come look at this." She squeezed in beside him, their headlamps illuminating the crystalline architecture of Vexarian engineering. Everything was symmetrical, perfect, mathematically ideal, and completely utterly wrong. "There's your problem," Elsa said, pointing to a quantum flux regulator positioned exactly where the schematics indicated it should be. "That component is correctly installed," HFY insisted, vibrating indignantly. "I installed it myself according to precise specifications." "Yeah, that's the problem," Alex said. "It's too correct." The Vexarian engineers exchanged confused looks. Elsa sighed and pulled out her plasma wrench. "Look, your people design everything in perfect vacuum conditions, right? Ideal temperatures, no gravitational variance, no cosmic radiation interference. You build your ships in orbital construction bays that are more sterile than a monk's thoughts." "Of course," Zorthel said stiffly. "Precision is paramount. Sure, in theory. But space isn't a laboratory. It's messy. There's stellar wind, quantum foam fluctuations, dark matter eddies. You build for the ideal. We build for the real." She began loosening the regulator, This component is calibrated for perfect conditions, but you've been flying through the Andromeda sector, which has some of the densest dark matter concentrations in the galaxy. The quantum resonance is off by maybe 0.003%, too small for your diagnostics to flag, but enough to cascade into full engine failure. That's absurd, XR7 vibrated. 0.03% is within acceptable tolerance. For a computer, maybe. Not for actual physics. Elsa removed the regulator entirely and pulled out what looked like a hand-filed piece of metal from her toolkit. This is a shim I made from recycled hull plating. It's got micro-imperfections that'll create exactly the right amount of quantum friction to compensate for the dark matter interference. She installed it with the plasma wrench, gave it 3 firm taps with her regular wrench, which made every Vexarian in the room wince, and stepped back. "Alex, fire it up." Alex interfaced with the engine controls using a tablet that was at least 10 years old by Galactic standards. The quantum engine hummed, stuttered, then roared to life with a stability the Vexarians hadn't seen in weeks. "Impossible," Sorthel whispered, his skin fading to pure white, the Vexarian color of shock. "Not impossible, just practical." Elsa wiped her hands on her already filthy jumpsuit. "You want to know the real secret? Human ships break down constantly. We're not embarrassed by it, we expect it. So we got really, really good at fixing things. Your ships never break because they're perfect. They break because you never learned how to handle imperfection." 3 cycles later, the Galactic Council convened an emergency session. The motion on the floor was unprecedented, the official recognition of human mechanics as essential personnel for all Council vessels. Sorthel cast his vote in favor, his skin a steady, humble blue. "I move that we also commission a human-led seminar on practical engineering." The motion passed unanimously. Somewhere in space, aboard the Lucky Strike, Elsa Martinez used duct tape to fix a coolant leak while Alex Chen recalibrated their navigation computer by literally hitting it until it worked. They were the best mechanics in the galaxy. They just didn't know any other way to be. The end.